Hey guys, Jay here. Happy Saturday. Just got back in a little bit ago. What a day. I got up about quarter after 4 this morning, and went out, turned lights on, the lamp on in the living room, made myself a cup of coffee. I started drinking coffee again. Fuck it, I don't care. But anyway, turn the TV on, waiting for the news to come on. My phone was on a charger in the kitchen, so my phone starts ringing. I'm like, what the hell? Who else calling me this early? So I looked at the number, and here it was the neighbor behind us, Greg. And he said, "Hey, Jay," and I said, "Yeah," and he said, "Your pool filter on?" I said, "Not that I know of, it shouldn't be." He said, "Man, buddy, he sounds like he's on, it sounds like he's sucking for air." I said, "Hold on a minute." So I went back, opened the back door up. It was on. Low on water, so it was sucking air into the skimmer. So I had to go out and shut the breaker off. Turn the hose on it. Here I found out why it was so screwed up. My brother-in-law come here yesterday with my nephew and shut the damn breaker off, which shuts the timer off. Well, here, I guess when they left, they tried to reset the timer, but they set it to PM instead of AM, which PM stays off longer than it's on an running the day. I was set to shut off at dusk. So, anyway, I shut it down, got it filled back up, but, yeah, last night see, this is why I don't make friends too well. That's why I really don't care if I make friends anymore. Most of my friends down here are older, and they pass away and stuff. And, you miss them. But, a friend that worked down at Cumberland Farms, the one I told you about, wouldn't give me a hug when Jake passed away, my dog, and when my dad passed away. And I would try to help her out financially because I knew she was struggling. And I'd give her cash here and there. And she had my number, so she'd text me, I'd text her back, she'd call, I'd talk to her, BS on the phone with her. Then I'd go down there and get what I had to get, and usually she was working. And she had just recently got a promotion to manager. So I stopped her yesterday, and the guy worked with her all the time. I'm not going to say his name, but I walked in, I said, "How you doing, buddy?" He said, "Good." He said, "If you're looking for Michelle, you're not going to find her." I said, "Well, what are you talking about?" And he said, "She's gone." I said, "What do you mean she's gone?" I said, "What happened to her?" He said, "She just up and quit. Said she can't afford it, and she's gone. She left Florida with her brother, I guess. I don't know. But I didn't get no hi-bye, kiss my ass, or anything from her." So, like I said, from now on, I ain't going to try to make friends anymore. I go in a place down there, and they got a new person working. I walk in, they say, "How you doing today, sir?" I'm just going to say, "Fuck off. Where's the milk?" Let them ring it up. Give me my fucking change, bitch. Or dick, whatever. Just be my mean old self, I guess. I'm kidding, I wouldn't do that. But anyway, yeah, she was gone, and like I said, tomorrow is Easter. So I hope you all have a great Easter with your family and stuff. My mother and I decided not to have ham or anything, because that was when my dad always wanted ham and sweet potatoes and stuff. But Now my sister said they're coming up. And I wish the hell they wouldn't, because every time they're here, all they do is make a mess, and I gotta clean everything up. Then I find out my sister, they're all leaving on Monday. And I said, my mom told me, and I said, what do you mean they're leaving on Monday? She said they're leaving on Monday and won't be back till next Saturday. Well, you know, this is what fucks me off about people. My sister and I own that food truck half and half. The same with my dad. They didn't tell me he was dying. And she didn't fucking tell me she was leaving. So the only one going to be responsible for the food truck is me if something happens. So I called her and I told her, I said, it's bullshit. I said, you fucking tell me when you're leaving. She said, I don't know what you're so angry about. I said, Jack, Jesus Christ, we just had a fire up there. She said, I understand that, but it's taken care of. They know how to run it. Yeah. And she said, well, you can go up early in the morning to work with them. Yeah. I said, you know what, you come over tomorrow, just come over, do what you're going to do. I said, that's it. I said, I almost burnt the fucking pool filter up because he's touching shit with your big fingers I have no business touching. She said, why are you so hateful today? I'm not hateful. I'm just in one of them moods where you can't win. It don't matter what the fuck you do for people, you can't win. You know, and I seen that shit on the internet today with that Metcalf and that Anthony kid. Some guy from down there, white guy, going there clear to Texas. And the black guy they got as a spokesperson, he got a fucking rap sheet a mile long. Shook a 2-year-old kid until I had brain bleed. Then was arrested for domestic. Then was arrested for assault. Then he was he was arrested so many fucking times. And the guy's an idiot. He gets up there and tries to talk like he's so fucking intelligent. Well, he tries too hard. Because he's a fucking idiot. He butchers the English language. Who is he talking about? Daniel Penny. It's Daniel Penny. He called him Daniel Penna. Then he went after Kyle Rittenhouse. Said he had the AK-47 shot 3 people in the back. No, he didn't. They have the videos when he shot them people. He was being attacked. But still, if he didn't have the fucking gun with him, you're asking for problems when you show up to something like that with a gun. Now, one guy on there said he illegally crossed state lines with that gun. No, he didn't. His father lived there. His mother lived in another state. He left his mother's house. The father had the gun. It belonged to Kyle. So he got the gun and took it with him. Which in itself was stupid. But these two assholes are trying to start a race war. That kid stabbed somebody in the fucking heart and killed him. His life's going to be over. The only thing that guy's trying to do speaking for him is taint the jury pool. So maybe they get one bleeding heart on there and says not guilty. Then I'll declare mistrial. Then he was bitching about the school expelling him. If you go on any school grounds or any school properties with a weapon, even if they find the weapon, you get expelled. Now, if you have the weapon and you fucking use it, you're definitely going to get expelled. But they're treating him like he's the victim, too. When they have pictures of him fucking with his middle finger up, holding a gun and shit, Now, the other kid, like I said, I don't know what went on. I didn't see the video. They said there's videos. But they said all they did was told him to leave. That wasn't his tent, because he was with the other school. And from what witnesses say, he says, touch me and see what happens. So they stabbed him in the fucking heart and killed him. But that dickhead, I guess he was from down here. He took a bus up there and had Trump all over it. And he was on a phone call with the dad after he going on there saying black people are trying to wait people out. They're killing us off, blah, 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 that. And I figured, what a fucking fool. But he got on the phone with Mr. Metcalf and didn't get the response he was waiting for. He said, no, if I get us a podium, will you join me for a press conference? And Mr. Metcalf went off on his ass. Told him he didn't appreciate what he's doing. He don't need to be doing that. All he's doing is starting more trouble. And blah, blah, blah. And that guy said, that's your white guilt talking. So that tells you where he's coming from, fucking La La Land. And then he called him a coward. You know, if I was a dad and I just lost my son and you called me a coward, I'd say, you know what, bud, you're right. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there in front of the podium. And I'd go there and I'd hit that motherfucker so hard I'd knock him into the next state. That's what I said. They were fucking race baiters. The white guy's a race baiter and the other one's a mini Al Sharpton fucking race baiter. They're trying to start a George Floyd thing over again. And that's another thing. Like I said, George Floyd thing. And people going in liquor stores coming out with cases of liquor, robbing tennis shoe stores coming out with cases of boxes of tennis shoes. How the fuck does that make a statement about George Floyd? It's nothing. You're just a bunch of low-life little fucking thieves taking advantage of the situation. And George Floyd died from a fentanyl overdose. They interviewed the medical examiner, said he was forced to change his report because of everything that was going on. So if he'd have come out and said he passed away from fentanyl, then it wouldn't justify what was going on. So that's Tampon Tim that run the joint when that was going on. But like I said, fucking people need to quit. Like I said, that's why I stay by myself. I don't worry about that shit. I don't have to worry about anything. And that's it. Like I said, let the judicial system do so. I mean, he's going to have some punishment. He stabbed the kid in the heart and killed him. But then again, in this day and age, you never know. He might walk free. But that's who he's talking about, Daniel Penny, and the other one that Sunday he shot 3 people in the back, which is not true. He didn't have an AK-47, he had an AR. So I guess Rittenhouse is going to sue him now for slander. And Daniel Penny choked out a black guy because he was beating the shit out of people on the subway. Said he was going to kill somebody. He don't care if he goes to jail the rest of his life. Daniel Penny was a Marine. All he was on the subway for was to go to work. He wasn't there to start trouble. He put him in a chokehold, held him there until the police finally got there. He died after he let him go. And you know what? It cracks me up. That guy was a Michael Jackson impersonator. Family said he suffered from schizophrenia and all these other mental problems his whole life. When it funny, after some white boy puts a chokehold on him, he dies. Now the family's coming out of the woodwork. They killed him, he was innocent. When your own words, you said he was a fucking nut. I don't know. Alright guys, so I'm gonna get going. I'm getting a shower. As you can tell today I'm bummed out. I said tomorrow's Easter, and I don't look forward to holidays anymore. Like I said, with my dad gone, I'd just rather sit in a room, watch TV, and forget about it. Anyway, guys, love you all. God bless. I hope you have a wonderful Easter. Don't let me bring you down. I said, you know, Jay Goods, he's a basketball. One time I hit the pavement, next minute I'm up in the air laughing and joking. Today's just not one of them days. Alright, guys, love you all. God bless. Please like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget the damn likey button, Betty. And have a great Easter. Bye-bye.